Lust promises satisfaction, connection, and relief, but after you get done, why do we still feel so empty? I believe it's because lust often doesn't have to do with sex. It has to do with meeting a deeper meaning. And I always thought that porn was just a sexual thing for me. It was just a sexual thing to make me feel better. And it gave me temporary relief, but obviously, like many of you guys know, it never lasted. I kept going back because I was searching for something, but I was never able to really find it. And lust, it made me believe that I was going to feel satisfied. I was going to feel wanted. It was going to remove my stress, and I was finally going to be enough. But that satisfaction disappeared really quickly. And what I noticed in my journey is underneath lust, that what I was really looking for was connection, validation, excitement, comfort, confidence, escape from stress or loneliness. And the sexual desire may be real, but it was often carrying an emotional need with it. And the reason why lust can never satisfy you is because lust turns a person into something that you consume. And real connection requires you to see an entire person. Lust asks, what can I get? And love and connection asks, how can I just be present? And the more you chase stimulation, the less satisfying normal life starts to feel. But we got to make sure that we're not confusing lust versus attraction. Attraction is very normal, and you can notice someone is beautiful without needing to possess them or fantasize about them or use them for your own relief. The goal is not to become less sexual. The goal is to stop asking sexuality to solve problems it cannot solve. And instead of meeting, so when lust shows up, like what do we do, right? That's the big question. And hopefully understanding that lust isn't going to give us what we want. If anything, it's just going to give us a temporary relief. And for most of the time, it made me feel a lot worse, and I wanted to escape more and go to porn more because I felt worse, right? So if you have the urge to look at lust, what do we do? So the question is, we got to take a step backwards, right? We can't just go straight into it and just keep falling into this same cycle. We need to ask ourselves, what am I feeling right now? Ask yourself, what has happened today? Like, for example, the other day I got a pretty strong urge to view. And instead of just going into it, I asked myself, what is going on today? And what I realized was I was having a pretty crappy day at work, and I was pretty frustrated with a project that I was working on. And I was like, okay, I can go look at porn if I want, but let me just take a step backwards and see if I can just take a break from work. And I can take a break, and then I came back to work, and I was able to solve the issue that I was trying to solve. And then, the urge to view totally went away. Another question you can ask is, what are you hoping that it will give you? And if the thought is just, oh, I want relief, then the question is, well, relief from what? What are we running from? And then ask yourself, am I stressed, lonely, bored, rejected? I'm feeling rejection, or am I feeling disconnected? And rather than escaping those feelings, let's address those feelings, right? Are you tired? That's a big one for me. If I'm tired, I feel way more vulnerable to go to pornography. But if I, am feeling an urge and I go take a nap and then I wake up, I'm usually good. And then just ask yourself, what would actually help me right now? And I've found if I can focus on meeting the emotional need that porn is trying to address, that is when the need for porn actually goes down, and it doesn't become like this fight or this white knuckle thing that I'm resisting anymore. So you can meet your need through movement, through rest, conversation, creativity, genuine intimacy. And I just want to make sure lust is not evil, but it is a terrible replacement for connection. You don't need to hate your sexuality. You need to understand what you're truly searching for. Because lust will promise you everything, but only give you a few moments of escape.